This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Mar Rabbi Sai, Gittin Erev Shabbos. It's your favorite time of the week. Imponderables on the Parsha, Parshas Boy. Here are a few questions. And here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. A few kashas on the Parsha. If you remember in Parshas Vayechi, we had an approach of why we encounter so many mikra kitzarim, short psukim, which Rashi defines as, it doesn't tell us the subject of the pasuk, it's sort of implicit. And we said because it's a Parshas Suma, so our eyes were sealed shut from recognizing the depth of the Torah, so therefore the Torah is, so to speak, derech katzar. But it's interesting to me that by Makas Arbe, we find many mikra ketsarim. It says, "V'lo yuchal lirois es haaretz." They could not see the earth. And Rashi says, Lashon Ketsara, the seer could not see the earth. Or Vayigarash Oisam, they chased them out. Who chased them out? Rashi says a mikra katzar. Why dafka by Makas Arbe do we have mikra katzar? There's an interesting idea that Reb Simcha Bunim of Shischa says that Makas Arbe corresponded to the Torah Shabbal Peh. That Hashem never actually told Moshe Rabbeinu what Makkah to bring. And he left it up to Moshe Rabbeinu to bring a Makkah. And Moshe darshaned a Makkah that since Hashem said, Ulaman Tesaper, and it says the word Tesaper by Yoel, so therefore we darshan that it's Makas Arbe. And because Paroi said Pen Yirbe, so Moshe wanted Dafka there should be Arbe. We see there's an idea that the Arbe was begeder, a revelation of Torah Shabbal Peh. There are other examples of this, where it says Vayonach by the Arbe, and it says Vayonach b'yom HaShabbos. From there we learn the Arbe rested on Shabbos. Actually, the only Makkah where Paroi says Chatasi la'Hashem v'lachem, I sin not only to God but to you, is Arbe, because Paroi knew this was the koyach of Torah Shabbal Peh of Moshe. So possibly, Rabbi Isai, I'm thinking now, because Arbe was a riboy of the Torah Shabbal Peh, therefore it's Kotzar in the Torah Shabbachsav. That's why we have Mikra Kotzar by Makas Arbe again and again. Why? Because since Arbe was a reflection of an expansion of the oral law, it was therefore a diminution of the written law. Okay. Why in Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Aleph it says Acharei chen yishalach eschem mizeh, from this God will send you away from this. Kol yigarsh eschem mizeh. Is that how you say from here? From this? Why? What's this expression mizeh mizeh 2 times? Another question. It says that the Jewish people borrowed from the Egyptians silver. Vayitein Hashem eschen ha'am be'enei Mitzrayim. God made us very gracious in the eyes of Egypt. And even Moshe Rabbeinu, he became very great in the eyes of the Egyptians. Huh? What does that got to do with anything? Does that have to do with the fact that we borrowed things from the Egyptians? Is that relevant to the story of the Exodus? What does that have to do with? Why is the Torah telling this to us? That Moshe Rabbeinu became very great in the eyes of the Egyptians. I will tell you a thought on that. You would have thought, I think simply the pasuk is telling me, that you would have thought that the Egyptians would have hated the Jews. After all, we've just destroyed their country, their water system, their irrigation system, their economy, their climate, their livestock. We decimated every aspect of their society. No, we were charming in their eyes. They lent us things. You would have thought Moshe Rabbeinu in Egypt would have been persona non grata, that everyone would have hated him. No, just the opposite. Despite the fact that he was the agent of destruction to Egypt, they loved him. He was honorable. How could such a thing be? The answer is because when you do the right thing, you don't lose out. When you try to stick up for the honor of Hashem, it only elevates you, even though it seems impossible. Next question. It says, and all of Klal Yisrael shechted the Karim Pesach. From here we see Shluchai Shaladam Kamaisai. Another question is, why do we learn out the concept of Shech Shal Adam Kamaisai Davka from Karim Pesach? We could have learned it out anywhere. Why is this the location that we learn out the Shechita of the Karim Pesach? Next question. Paroi says, Moshe Rabbeinu said, we're going to take the sheep like you spoke. So Rashi says, when did Paroi say that you'll be able to take the sheep? I'm sorry. Paroi said, you take the sheep like you said. Take your animals like you said. Rashi says, when did Moshe Rabbeinu say we're going to take out the animals? When he said, even you, Paroi, will give us animals for karbanos. I have one simple question. Why was that never fulfilled? Did Paroi ever give the Jewish people karbanos? Did that ever happen? I don't remember that happening. Next, Paroi says, Uveirachtem gam oisi, bless me. So Rashi says it means daven for me. Why does Rashi interpret it shaloi kipshutai? Why doesn't Rashi interpret the pasuk simply? Paroi said, give me a bracha, bless me, that I shouldn't die. Why is Rashi reinterpreting that Uveirachtem means daven for me? And one more question. It says that the Jewish people numbered 600,000 people, Gevarim Levad Mitaf, besides the children. Rashi says it means men over 20. What about the Zakanim? Why are the Zakanim not spoken about? Do these 600,000 include people over 60? When we say in Parak Yud Beis, Pasuk Lamed Zayin, Vayisu v'nei Yisrael me'ram se sukkos k'sheish me'os elef ragli, hagevarim, Rashi says, ben esrim shana v'amala. What about people over 60? It sounds like they're counted. Usually we don't count them. Why over here are they grouped together with the people over 20? Okay. We're going to segue now on to the Shiur on Tefillah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.